During COP29 held here in Baku, the Azerbaijani capital, the idea was put forward to create multilateral, permanent, inclusive institution platform, bringing together NGOs from the Global South countries. Since then, that very proposal evolved into initiative, culminating in the establishment of Global South NGO platform back in April 2025. Just a few days ago, on the 14th of May, the first General Assembly of the Global South NGO platform took place. And now today at WUF13 here in Baku, many people are asking a number of questions, of course. Could this platform eventually, in the fullness of time, transform into a standing civil society pillar within the wider ecosystem or not? Is it a very precipitate idea? Is there any merit to this particular proposition? And many other questions, of course, being asked. And today I'm absolutely delighted to have this distinct pleasure and opportunity to interview Ms. Dima Al-Khatib, Director of the UN Office for South and South Cooperation. Welcome to AnewZ, and thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very much for hosting me.
It's a pleasure and privilege. Well, back in November 2024, when COP29 was here in Azerbaijan, the idea to create the Global South NGO platform was practically, back then it was voiced. And the idea there was based on the notion that Global South has got its own specific needs and characteristics. There's a need for joint action involving NGOs from that part of the world. I mean, we're not suggesting Global South is different to the rest of the world in many fundamental ways, but there are unique characteristics. What do you make of this whole proposition?
I think, first of all, it is such an important step to have a voice for the NGOs of the Global South. The establishment of such a platform is extremely important because NGOs and civil society, they bring a different dimension, a different reflection of the needs and the priorities of the countries of the South at the most granular level. So one cannot but congratulate the establishment of such a global platform for the NGOs. Whether the Global South is the Global South is part of the entire globe, and as many actually decision makers would say, nowadays you even hear about circular cooperation, not anymore only North-South or South-South cooperation, but also circular cooperation. But with South-South cooperation, it's basically, you know, what one needs to remember and be reminded of are the founding principles of solidarity, of mutual benefit, of respect to sovereignty, of equality. And these are extremely important for the countries of the South as they navigate, if you will, or weather the complexities of the day, as the complexities of the world that we are trying to address, whether are the challenges of the urban agenda, as we are here on, attending the WUF, the World Urban Forum, or climate change, or the water agenda. Many challenges are now at the table, and also the development cooperation at large is also weathering a lot of changes and transformation. So it's quite a complex setup, if you will. And the more the countries of the South assert themselves as a steady voice of their needs and priorities, I think it is a healthy indication that the countries want to come together and want to address these priorities. So it is,
please.
No. So it is definitely a step to encourage. And it's also a key action that we need to commend also Azerbaijan for it. And it's not the first action of, or a key initiative of this country in terms of trying to be a key actor in South-South cooperation. I think they have also institutions that have been addressing public service delivery, which is ASAN, which is an extremely important also model that has been also now being exported to many other countries based on the needs of the countries. So we cannot say but congratulations for that establishment.
Naturally, I suppose nobody is advocating for global North, global South dichotomy in a very sort of distinct way, of course. Yeah. They're two different parts of the world, but they're part of the self-same world. Do you believe that Global South cooperation could reach such a level wherein actually some of the practices put forward by Global South countries could be implemented by Global North, and we'll have a completely full, sort of unquestionable circular cooperation entailing all the other parts of the world?
I believe so. It's totally the case. South-South cooperation is happening whether we like it or not, whether it's labeled as such or not. And the South-North cooperation is also fully happening. But also, we cannot dissociate the fact that, you know, South-South cooperation is a complement to North-South cooperation, right? In a world that is also grappling with a declining ODA and debt distress and many also financial issues, all the countries of the South are also keen on the traditional way of cooperation, but also on further strengthening South-South cooperation. Further strengthening South-South cooperation comes also with a lot of other commitments, including financial commitments, right? But it is the trends and the forecast, if you will, it's on a trajectory of growth, right? And this is something that that needs to be encouraged, because it also encourages the self-reliance of the countries. It enhances the sense of solidarity among countries and among regions. And what we see today, including through this global platform for the NGOs, or the Global South platform for the NGOs, is a manifestation of that, manifestation of solidarity, of countries wanting to come together with an immense diversity of needs. And but what brings them together, right, is the need to bring their voices, to amplify their voices, because they also bring the voice of, as I said, the most granular level of communities, whether in rural areas or, because you know, we all know that civil society is one of the most agile actors, and sometimes, in a lot of cases that we have seen, they play a critical role, especially in countries that are going through transition or coming out of crisis. They are, you know, extraordinarily agile and very efficient in delivery of services.
Allow me to put to you the following question. Of course, it's a very theoretical question, I'm merely inquiring. When this Global South NGO platform, the idea was proposed in November 2024, it was about creating multilateral, inclusive platform for non-aligned movement countries, and then by extension, the Global South countries. Then this platform received a support from probably more than 1,000 NGOs from 120, 140 countries. Then the platform was established, and now there's a pavilion dedicated to Global South NGO platform here at WUF13. Could one presume that in the fullness of time it could evolve into something like very permanent sort of a civil society pillar within the wider UN ecosystem, however loosely we may define that ecosystem in general?
Well, I believe such an aspiration or an endeavor will have to also go through many processes of validation and of member states owning up to this. So it's a separate track that has its own track and has to follow that process of validation. But for us, when it comes to us as an Office for South-South Cooperation, it definitely represents presents itself as a collective voice of the civil society, which we will need to always bring. I just came out of a discussion right now on the urban agenda and the importance of South-South cooperation with that, and there was with focus on the African continent. And it's amazing also to hear the experiences of countries such as Ghana and such as Uganda, whereby they were, you know, also saying how important it is that for the urban agenda to be extremely inclusive of all actors at the local and the most granular level, including with the civil society, to be able to come up with an approach of urbanization or an urban agenda that is nationally owned, that is backed by policies, and that is sustainable and credible also for the citizens, right? But also what they were sharing is also the importance of sharing these good experiences that they have with other countries of the South. So also on the panel, Morocco, who has a whole history of South-South cooperation and it's central to its national agenda, has been sharing how they have been doing this with the African continent. Egypt was also there to talk about, their experience at the small governorates level, and how they are also ready to share their experiences, but also voicing how important it is to include the civil society in the planning and the implementation of whatever urban agenda, if it focuses on also specific thematics, right?
Ms. Al-Khatib, I don't know whether you have had an opportunity to visit Azerbaijan's formerly occupied territories, but some of the very high-tech, cutting-edge, green, smart technologies being applied there to effectively rebuild, revive, restore the entire region. To what extent do you think civil society institutions, which are very agile, they are not sort of given to bureaucratic, lengthy procedures in the same way as government agencies are, could play an important role in ensuring that we are able to implement like climate-conscious, water-sensitive, future-oriented urban planning there in those parts of Azerbaijan and other similar parts of the world?
I didn't get the chance to visit the area, but I believe the civil society will have a key role to play, because if we want to get the message through to the people of any community, of any rural areas, civil society would be the most efficient to do it, because they are from the region. They can relate to them. The messages are much easier for them, and they are much more agile, and they are very innovative in creating those ways of convincing, but also engaging them in better understanding what is it that is going to happen, right? So definitely civil society will have a key role to play in raising awareness, but actual implementation, right? And they have a key element also, which I believe also governments would have it, but given their proximity to the communities, is this trust building that is the amazing capacity also of the civil society. It can bridge, they are the intermediary, the perfect intermediary, if you will, between what is local and what is the decision-making level.
Baku is growing, It's getting bigger and bigger. It's beautiful, it's got new elements entailed at its core, but also challenges increasing, of course. And you yourself permanently based in New York City, one of the greatest metropolises of the world. And the question, what will happen to cities? Will they remain as beautiful as they are, as perfectly sort of practical to stay, live and function? It's another question that many people...
Well, I mean, the numbers are also a bit alarming with the urbanization that will be reaching 70% by 2050. Mm. And 90% of that urbanization is going to be in the global south. So there will be a lot of pressure on the cities to try to adapt, but also to kind of, again, we go to this urban agenda, which is quite inclusive of many aspects that needs to be addressed. And I think, there is nowadays the use of data and the foresighting are extremely important for this urban agenda, to be able to have a tailor-made approach to address this agenda, for the different cities. And South-South cooperation will be extremely instrumental in exchanging those best practices and lessons learned.
Mr. Al-Khatib, thank you very much indeed for this opportunity, for this very, very interesting and open conversation.
Thank you very much. It was a delight to be with you. Thank you.